I saw this and thought of Taylor. The chemical flavoring in an e-cigarette has been linked to lung disease. And when I first saw it, I was like, well, like, what's the science on this thing? Like, what do we really know? And it turns out that it's tied into popcorn lung. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
Bronchitis obliterans.
Yeah. Like Kyle said,
Bronchiolitis obliterans.
Yeah, bronchiolitis obliterans, I guess. I think he did a good job. Anyway, popcorn lung is something that's happened for a long time. It's literally the people who make popcorn, but it's not the popcorn itself, it's the butter. So that butter, like, dusting stuff that they put in there is a hazard to your lungs. And a lot of people got sick and a lot of people died before they traced it to airborne, like, microparticulates that people breathe in. And it turns out that the flavoring that goes in popcorn is either the same or very similar to the flavoring they put in an e-cigarette. And I don't know. It's diacetyl. Have you ever heard of this? Do you think it's in your e-cig? Not e-cig. They are calling them e-cigarettes, but vaping is not all e-cig, I don't think. Do you see it? It's the first word in the article I linked.
Yeah, I'm looking at this too.
It. No, it's vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol, which I think that's what they use in asthma inhalers.
It is.
Then natural flavoring and artificial flavoring and nicotine. So it's got none of those.
It could be the artificial or natural flavoring though. Like what's that? What's the flavoring chemical?
Right.
I think that's what they're talking about here.
Yeah. They said it was in 75% of flavored e-cigarettes. Now I guess some of them aren't flavored, but I don't know. I
don't know. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Go ahead. I mean, you're an adult. You can do anything you wanted. But it came to my head. I was like, because my position on this stuff from whatever 12 months ago was, I don't know how it's dangerous. I just suspect they're going to tell us that it was dangerous all along, right? Like remember the 40s when they told like GIs to smoke cigarettes and it'll calm you down. It'll be something to do like in between periods of dangerousness.
It does.
Have it lucky.
I'm starting to go the other way on this whole the anti-smoking thing. I'm starting to think that was a lot of propaganda. They really got us all thinking smoking was just the worst thing ever. But how many people really do die from it? Like how dangerous is smoking compared to some other vices? I just don't know anymore. I feel like if you can smoke 20 of these things a day for 10 years without I've read you can smoke for 10 years a pack a day without any permanent effect. Like that seems like a lot of use
than like
for something that's
McDonald's poison or salty foods for that same amount of time in a high amount.
I feel like the things that are really bad for us are the ones that like if you had a little of it you would get sick. Like poison, what I consider poison. Arsenic. Like, oh, did you get some poison in your food? Don't eat that or you'll die. Don't eat that, you'll get really sick. Eat that 5 times a week and you'll get so sick. But like with a cigarette, it's like, so could I smoke 100 of these in a row and not get sick? Oh yeah, totally. Huh. Well, how bad could it really be?
I think it depends on the person too. Like I think for me, cigarettes would be awful, and I base it on this. When I did woodworking, at first anyway, before I got good equipment, I breathed in too much sawdust. And some people breathe in this sawdust for like a decade and it's no big deal. Other people like me do it for 6 months, and I legit had asthma that impacted my cardio in ice hockey. Like it sucked a lot. And then when I inhaled, it'd be I can't even do it, but it was like this asthmatic,
raspy,
like constricted. Yeah, Taylor did it better than me. And it was terrible. I was one of those lucky guys that was semi-immediately, 6 months in, and I had like, asthma and awful lungs and stuff.
Yeah, I wish that. So I believe everything in that article, but I wish that the amount of danger was put into perspective and compared to something that is substantive, something that I know what it means. They're saying, "Oh, that's dangerous," and I'm like, "Well, how dangerous? Like as dangerous as not wearing my seatbelt one day a week? As dangerous as what? As dangerous as using artificial sweetener in my coffee every morning? And they probably go, oh no, that's much more dangerous, that artificial sweetener. And in which case I'm like, well, fuck it, because I'm not putting. I like the Splenda. I'm not getting rid of it.
And at some point, like, what's more dangerous, that artificial sweetener, or if you're pouring a bunch of actual sugar and just consuming that much sugar every day? You know, like all the studies they've done on aspartame have come back that it's not harmful. Like, I looked into it pretty in depth a couple times.
MSG too. I thought MSG was bad for you.
I
went, as soon as I read about it, I went and got myself a big fucking can of it. It's delicious. I put it in everything. All my food is full of MSG now. It's wonderful. I started reading about how it's
progressives out.
I started reading the chemistry behind why it makes it taste so good to our brain. Something about it's a different kind of salt on a chemical level, and I was like, wow, there's some science backing up why this shit tastes good.
I read about MSG and I was like, what the freak is MSG? I could take a shot at what it stands for, but like, what is it?
Sodium glutamate or something like that.
Yeah, and I was like, apparently it does something I don't understand called flavor blending. Like it takes disparate, am I using that right? Disparate flavors and makes them just work better together.
Yeah,
I don't know.
In a basic way, it just makes stuff taste good. So like, when I'm making hamburgers, I'm like, a little bit of this on there. Making French fries, let's put some of that in there. Everything gets MSG now. It's delicious.
Everything in Kyle's kitchen full of gluten and MSG.
Oh yeah,
Very Georgia home.